Hey YouTube, this is Dean making another vid. If you like my content, please consider hitting the like button. Also, please consider subscribing, as it is very much appreciated. Okay, just a bit of a collection video of the favourite strikers from my collection that I've forged myself. Now that I've sort of settled on, I started to get my skill level up to the point where I'm quite comfortable in the forge and learning how to swing a hammer properly and know how to get my strikers to spark quite well and whatnot. I can see my skill level getting to the point where my strikers starting to look good and they spark really well and everything's coming together quite well with them. So I'm actually quite proud of what I'm producing, and they're not too bad at all, if I do say so myself. Which, yeah, you should. I think you should take pride in your own work, and I am getting to that point where I'm happy with what I'm producing. So that's good. It's good that I'm finally getting to that point where I can knock out a striker, and it's, I don't know, I'm starting to stretch myself a bit too. So I'm starting to try new shapes, new styles, trying to take on different striker things. I'm also trying not only to make strikers but different things as well. I've tried making an axe. I've tried making a striker knife. Hammers. I am starting to branch out. People have said to me, why do you only make strikers? Well, that is my passion. I love flint and steel, and that I get the most pleasure out of it. But it also has the advantage of teaching me how to use a forge and how to get the hammer technique down properly and everything. So that's what I used forging strikers for, to hone my techniques down. And yeah, anyway, this is about my favourites so far. I've got 6 strikers in front of you there, and these two are I only got them yesterday. I only forged them yesterday, but they're already really caught my attention. And the others, if I had to choose one out of all of them, I have to say my snake is my favourite striker out of all of it. It's such a beautiful little striker. Sparks incredibly well, just dancing sparks around. But yeah, it's unusual. It just fits in your hand really well. It's a fantastic little fantasy striker. And while there wasn't a lot of forging involved in it, it was just more bending and that, like I did have to forge the head down a little bit and that. But it just suits me so well. It's just a beautiful little striker, and yeah, it's a fantastic striker. And probably out of all of my strikers, if I had to say which one is my favourite striker out of all of them, yeah, I'd probably pick it. It's just a fantastic little striker, and it just suits me very well. Fits in the hand really well, and just sparks incredibly well. So yeah, that's probably my favourite out of all of them, and it just speaks to me on so many levels. Although it didn't take much forging, which is probably a little bit, I don't know. As far as skill goes, it didn't need that much forging. So yeah, a little bit of a, again. So, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. Again, another one that didn't take much forging either, but it's such a simple design, is the slotted Viking. again, I really like this striker. It was simple, but that's what I like about it. It's you can thoroughly quenched, spark on either side. As you can see, firing sparks off. Jack cut the slot in it. It looks really good. I like the file teeth on it. The grip gives you really good grip. The slot gives you a good grip. These were often worn as pendants. They hung them as a pendant, or you could slip a belt through, so you could wear them as on your belt, or hung off a belt as well. So that was what the slot was there for. Plus, it gives you a good grip as well. So yeah, very, very useful design. These slotted ones tend to be a little bit bigger, I think they were, and they did cut the slot in them. They used a hot drift, and they just drifted it through. But obviously our technology's changed now. Jack used his mill, and I normalised it, then cut he had milled the slot in it, and then we quenched it, and away we went. So yeah, I'm going to make more of these because I really like them. They're probably one of the better strikers to make out of the end parts of the file. Once you make the single curl colonials, you've got another most of the file. So this is the easiest ones to make out of the end bits. That takes me on to this one. Talking about end bits of files, my fancy single curl colonial. This one's really good, even though that the curl, if you look at it, the curl is a little bit skew-if. It's still very good striker. And when we first pulled it out of the quench tank, it was as crooked as a politician. It just terribly bent. We put it back in the quench tank, and then we put it back in the forge, put it on the flatter, tried to flatten it out, and got it a bit more flat. But yeah, it's still a little bit bent. But yeah, it's probably one of my best sparkers. Just fires the sparks off. Looks really good. Just got the curls going really well. The only thing with these ones is, again, you can't get the Wiltshire file or whatever file name on because you're using the other end of the file. But yeah, because you're hammering this out. But it's a good example of more difficult work because you have to draw this out and then shape this up. So yeah, that's a really nice striker because it takes a lot more forging, and yeah, it just works really well and fits really well in the grip. Really nice striker. Fantastic, actually. Yeah, I really like it. First of the large colonials that I ever made as such of that pattern. It's always going to hold a special place in my heart as far as it goes. The single curl, it just was a perfect storm. Everything went right with this. If I don't break it, drop it and break it. The Wiltshire file came out really well. You can see it all. I've got nice blue coloration here where I've annealed it. You can see the blue colours in it. Made out of one of those second cut flat files, so the teeth are not really aggressive. It feels really good in the hand. Little curl fits it really in the fingers well, and sparks. I use this in my demonstrations all the time because it sparks so well. Just a fantastic striker and as I say, it's one of my favourites. I love it. Yeah, and because it was one of my first that I did of this pattern and got this pattern down, the large single curl colonial, it of course has to be one of my favourites. And because it sparks so well, I use it in this demonstrations all the time. That's why it's one of my favourites. This one, that file, this old file, it's made, I can't really, it's JK made in, I think it's made in India. I'm not really sure. I've tried looking at it under magnifying glass. It's been hit with the hammer or something and rusted. I can't really tell, but it's got some St. Petersburg there too. It could be over in, yeah, I'm not exactly, or sterling on the back there. It's an old file anyway. That was that one I did yesterday over at Jack's place. Old file. It's you can tell it's been in the wars. My O wasn't really stamped in real well. I had a little bit of a problem with that. The curl, because the tine wasn't very good. It was very thin, and yeah, I couldn't draw it out very well. I should have ground this off a bit more because the finger doesn't lock down very well. That's the only thing. I was a bit disappointed in that because I really like having a bit of room here for my little finger to lock in. You just can't lock your finger in there very well. It's the only thing. I would have loved. Jack's got a Pneumatic grinder. I might get in there with the grinder and just grind it in a little bit. It's a pretty aggressive grinder, so yeah, it's on a rattle gun sort of thing. I might get in there and see if I can grind it out a little bit, just to go in there, so that just so my little finger can fit in there. But it sparks so well. This one, it just fires the sparks, or just incredible well. That's why I like it so much. It's fantastic sparker, really nice. I cleaned it all up, rolled the edges on it really well. Yeah, just it's a bit ugly. I have to admit, it's not as polished and as finished as the other one. Yeah, it just looks old and weathered, which is not ugly as such. But yeah, but it just sparks so well. So yeah, just one of my favourites. It's quickly becoming one of my favourites. Yeah, very, very nice striker. And my FDic, yeah, it's a beast. I got the colours of the blues in there. I blued all this, so yeah. If you notice too, I did an extra roll on the curlicue here. So yeah, I normally only just do a sort of a single roll here, where I actually rolled this an extra roll there, so and you can really see the FDic there. I did hit it a couple of times with the hammer, but yeah, thankfully it didn't come through. Got my O really nicely punched in there. Yeah, that thick strike face, it's ridiculously thick. But yeah, fantastic, big, heavy. Sparks incredibly well too. Just firing the sparks off. And that's them. Yeah, I think out of all the colonials, I think that one, yeah, even though it's a big, heavy beast of a thing, that one, yeah, that's just my type of striker. I just love big, heavy strikers, and yeah, that would give you a lifetime of striking. And I do love thick strike faces. It's, yeah, and I did grind the teeth off it because they were really aggressive. So yeah, and I've got this much of a file left of it, so I might make a couple of. I'll probably get two out of that. I might make a couple of the, because they're this wide, slotted Vikings out of the rest of the that. So yeah, I don't know. I'll see how we go with it. But yeah. Anyway, a little bit of a collection video of my favourite strikers out of the ones I've forged. Yeah, pretty much that's it. As I said, if I had to pick my favourite out of all of them, that's my favourite. Out of all the ones I've made, I really love that little snake. It's yeah, just a fantastic striker, and yeah, that one is quickly becoming my favourite of the colonials. It's just my type of striker. Anyway, I'll sign off. Obviously, someone's using a blower over next door. Anyway, thanks for watching.